Welcome back to another edition of Out of Market Baseball. It's Clinton and Cory. We've got top stories. We've got homer updates, prospects, and playoffs. Are we really going to talk playoffs in June?
Not about my team, we won't.
Well, we'll look at that when we get down to it. But hey, you can find us at OOM Baseball. You can find us at Cory J. Satoon, and you can find me at Clinton C. Patrick. And man, it's going to be hard to beat the top story of the week with Denzel Clark and what he was able to pull off yesterday in the top of the first inning. I mean, that home run robbery, it will be a catch of the decade for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they still do SportsCenter top 10, but that would be number one for sure.
Oh, hands down, like for the week.
It was incredible. And, if you haven't seen it yet, go out there and hit the Twitterverse or the Xverse, whatever you want to call it, and find it. And I will say, this is one of my weird baseball pet peeves is like, I don't like it when they're like, oh, he robbed a home run just because he made a jump at the wall. And then it's like, no. I will literally rewind the video and okay, that ball's trajectory. No way I do. And it doesn't really change anybody's opinion. It just vindicates it for myself. But it's just one of those things.
I mean, one of my things is I'll go straight to Baseball Savant and I'll go over there to the far right and it's like, okay, was it a home run in this park? Okay,
that's right.
No, wasn't a home run robbery.
Catch probability, hit probability, could do it all. But no, that was absolutely incredible. And I was just looking up his StatCast page. He's barely played any games, and he's already in the 98th percentile of outs above average in the outfield. So it matches what we've, it passes the eye test and also the analytics behind it. So
and his jumps are, I think, top 10 in the league. And now, granted, like you said, he hasn't played a lot, but I mean, that's just natural talent, and that's going to allow you to track down balls. And anyway, he definitely tracked that one down, and kudos to him to stay inside the ballpark.
That's true. Moving from one good outfielder to an outfielder who made just the most ridiculous play I've ever seen. Poor Roman Anthony. Hey, look, dude just won us a game tonight with his 2-run double that he took a changeup off the plate the other way. But yeah, I think that was only his second maybe chance at fielding something, and just took his eye off the ball and it just skirted past him and turned what could have been, it came on the heels of Jarren Duran losing a ball that was wet and he couldn't get a grip on it. So it was back-to-back terrible plays in the outfield. Literally, I was just moaning and groaning at the TV. But we're going to stick to the positive because he looked pretty good out there. I know he was hitless the first game there, but he had some good solid contact. I mean, one of them he hit off the pitcher, and if not, it would have been a smash right up the middle through to center field for a single. But he's taking the ball off the plate pretty well. He's looked at a couple of strike threes other than that, but not too jumpy. Trying to get on base or trying to hit his way on base too much. But yeah, it's been exciting. I think he's going to end up being the real deal for sure.
Yeah, I watched his first 3 at bats, and the one up the middle just shifted perfectly, and it seems like more and more that's the new thing is you got either a shortstop or a second baseman playing there right behind the bag, and they're just straight up taking away up the middle approach that we've all been taught, growing up playing baseball. And he was he's getting good solid contact. Exit velocity wasn't way up there, but it was, I think, upper 80s, lower 90s. So he's making solid contact. So I think he's going to be fine. Just like I think when Jordan Lawler comes back, but Roman's outperforming that right now. So it's nice to have him
hit. That helps.
Well,
just kidding.
I think he's going to be fine though.
Oh yeah, and he's young. I mean, he's been the youngest player, or at least the youngest hitter versus whatever pitcher and whatever level he's been at. So yeah, and that's the reason why it's one thing to put up these numbers if you're 27 years old and or whatnot, but when you do it young like this and you still have growth potential and you're still putting it up in the minors, impressive. Not the only big name prospect that is getting called up for this week. I saw where Jacob Mizorowski of the Milwaukee Brewers is getting called up. Now, can you imagine going against a guy who is 6'7" and he can crank it up to 103 miles per hour? Like, I have to imagine his extension is just out
It
of this world.
is
And
Randy Johnson back in the Montreal
yeah,
Expos,
just absolutely
just humming the ball.
destroying. And I mean, he struggles a little bit, as you might expect, with the big frame and the big fastball, a little bit with control, but just all kinds of strikeouts. Really commands, inside the zone really well, and so and kind of locks it down once he gets people on there. But yeah, dude, just another fireballer out there. That poor NL Central man is getting just all the big big name pitchers up there, just shoving it lately. So that's going to be fun to watch. I think he's supposed to start on Thursday, and that's definitely going to be must watch TV just to see what he's going to do, being all amped up.
Yeah, and the Brewers need every bullet in their chamber right now. Cubs are playing lights out, and then we harped on how surprisingly good the Cardinals have been. And so if the Brewers are going to make that playoff push in the NL, I mean, you also got the Giants and the Padres vying for the wild card spot in the West. Mets, Phillies, obviously duking it out. So, man, the NL is going to be tough to get into that, into those wild card teams. It's going to be really tough.
It's going to take a lot, it's going to be very crowded, which is, I've enjoyed that change that they made in the last few years, adding that extra wild card team, because it does give everybody that extra chance to get in there and just, make the most of it. So, couple of more pitchers, one maybe a slightly more famous than the other, but saw today it was announced where Ohtani's supposed to join the rotation, possibly in the next month, maybe before the All-Star break. So
yeah, the note I saw was like above a 0% chance that he throws before the All-Star break. And the rumor is they're going to start using him as an opener. They're going to start using
makes
him
sense.
2-3 innings and lead him in there. But I'll be honest with how he's playing offensively and how when he goes, the Dodgers offense goes. Are you really like? Do you need to risk him throwing?
I mean, if their pitching was in any other state, I could definitely say, slow play it even more. But
their pitching is in such a bad state, and they've still won. I think they've already won 40 games. And they have one of the easiest, if not the easiest, remaining strength of schedule. So it's not like they need the pitching.
I mean, yes and no. I think they've slowed down a good bit over the last month or so. Although I may eat those words here, but yeah, I mean they're 14-13 over the last 30 days. So that has, those warts have started to pop up and have shown themselves. But I mean, I guess this was the plan all the time. Like, I mean, you let him do it, and then if he proves that his body can't hold up to all that, maybe you make him into a reliever or a closer of some sort. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, they need him out there 62 games on offense. If this means he's only gonna hit for more like 130 or 140, are they losing more games because of his bat not being in there? I could see that. But he's also getting paid $70 million a year. So you would say, okay, that's because he needs to do both things.
Yeah, but like the risk, the potential, of getting hurt.
Yeah.
And then you lose them all together.
Well, and the one thing you could always come back to is last time he tore his UCL, he did still hit, maybe not to this level, but he was still able to go out there and swing the bat and not cause any damage. So we'll see. The other pitcher is Yuri Perez, who is a guy who came up and really just kind of really young. I think he came up maybe when he was 20 and just kind of set the world on fire a bit, and then got the old Tommy John himself, and he is back after, a long year and a half or so of being out. And he's just a young guy, again, just going out there and shoving it. And I mean, does it make a big difference in the Marlins season? Probably not. After you get this, we should put this as a point, after you get swept by the Rockies, all of a sudden, if you get swept by the Rockies, you're automatically up. If you get swept by the worst team in baseball, you're automatically the worst team in baseball. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. It's one of those like circles where this team beat this team and this team, and it goes all the way around. But I don't know how it's going to go for the Marlins there, but it is good to see Perez is back and healthy. So always good to see that. Moving from stories of the week to the Homer updates. Let's put our Homer
Let's put the
hats
Homer
on.
hats on.
Might be a cowboy hat, I think. Big
And
old
man,
cowboy
I'm
Homer
going ahead
hat.
and I'm going ahead and prep the audience. I don't know that it's going to be very positive at all. I
Has
mean,
it ever been?
it's I don't know, but it's definitely gotten. It feels like it's gotten worse over the past 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, the
So,
injuries, I know that's its own segment there, but the injuries have definitely piled that up a bit on you for sure.
well, do you want to? Why don't you lead us off? I think I led off last week, so why don't you put your big old Homer hat on and
I'll
tell
put
me
it
what's
on,
going
man.
on?
My 10-gallon hat. And it's just, I mean, look, even just these 2 games they played against Tampa Bay these last 2 days, they are, oh, God, I had the math done and then I lost it. I think they are 5 for 34 with runners in scoring position, or 33. The first game they were 4 for 24, or maybe it was 3 for 24, which is like incredible that they had 24 opportunities. And of course, it went into
Yeah, it was in the extras.
extra innings. But I mean, they were already, I mean, it went into extra innings for the other team and they only had 15 chances, so, but still, just to have that incredible amount and then just missing it. You had 4 hits with runners in scoring position. You had 2 errors, and that's honestly because they didn't call Jaron Duran's an error. So yeah, it's like just baffling. But I mean, at this point, this team, there really is no big fix. I think I may have said this last week. It's kind of somebody's just going to have to start doing better, and I don't know if that's just a coaching change, whether it be the pitching side or what. But I mean, I think it's going to come down to somebody really getting in their ear and making like a bigger deal about it, because right now it's not working. Also, what the heck, Giolito, man? I mean, could you just stop doing the whole trading off the worst starts in the majors with really good starts? I would take the middling, at some point. But anyway, I digress on that.
Well,
It is
going
what it
back to
is.
your runners in scoring position, I will say that y'all were, I think, bottom 5 with
Mm-hmm.
runners in scoring position, and as you sit now, you're actually like top 15.
It doesn't feel like it.
It's been increased to, I think y'all were sitting at like 220, and y'all are at 249 with runners in scoring position.
This sounds like slander that I am not here for.
I'm I'm sorry, man. Like, I mean, that's one thing. That's one thing we gotta do. I got. You definitely call me out on my crap a lot. So, I mean, I am going to bring a little bit of optimism here for the Red Sox. I
Yeah.
think they have been hitting the ball a little bit better lately. Not over the
Yeah.
past week, but leading up
Yeah,
to
it's starting to
this
tick up.
weekend.
Like, Cedar Rafaela is starting to hit the ball a little bit more. Trevor Story's hitting the ball a little bit more. And then finally, Christian Campbell, who was just dead in the water for like a straight month, isn't necessarily lighting the world on fire, but he's at least making some more, consistent contact. And Abreu, it was just a lot of slumping, everybody was just kind of taken back. I think after Bregman left, it was like, who's going to step up? Nobody.
Yeah.
We were all going to take a step back. So it is what it is. But nah, you're right, man. We are 14th. It just feels so much worse. I don't even know how that's possible.
Well, 4-4 for 23 feels really bad.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and when you add in the errors and like even today, we almost threw the game away because of an error on the pickoff, got, runners at second and third and with 1 out. And it was just like, dude, it just feels like we cannot get out of our own way. So I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Well,
The baton of sadness.
I'm gonna put mine on, and it's always the bullpen. It's always the bullpen.
Except when it's not.
I looked. Now, granted, it's been very, very difficult because there's nobody back there anymore.
Right.
I mean, I looked at. We had some roster moves today. We recalled Ginkle, recalled Jarvis, selected Scott, and then optioned Brigham. and then we'll talk about the other two moves here later.
And those
But
are just out of necessity, not
yeah,
out of
it's
they
not.
earned it.
Yeah, no, it's 100% out of we need arms in the freaking bullpen, and we've talked about it over and over and over again. But I mean, this team, when it comes to relief pitching, is at the bottom of the barrel, and it's been a recurring theme with Torey Lovello, which you could also potentially attribute to Mike Hazen. Okay, because they've been here at the same time, so it's like, is Mike not giving him the bullpen he needs? But we're now sitting with a 5.32 bullpen ERA. We've 14.3% home runs per fly ball. It's just not. It's just not great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're 10 and 13 with 20 saves. And I think if you go and look at their blown saves, they're fifth with 12 blown saves. That's 32 save opportunities. And I think they actually have 27 blown leads, which I think you may have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's carrying a lead through 6. So you're leading after 6. So it's not considered a save. It's not considered a blown save, but it's a blown lead.
It's an official game. Then, yeah.
And we're leading the MLB in blown leads.
And here's the other issue too. Like, I'm looking at the WAR leaders and relief pitchers, and it's like almost all of them are on, good teams. So it's like, where would you even go to get help? There's like Jake Berg with Colorado, who's kind of a 1 year show me kind of a guy. And, if Boston becomes a seller, Chapman could go out, but it's just, there's not a lot of like big, I mean, I know you can dig a little bit deeper, but I'm like, there's not a whole lot of like non-competitive teams that you can go, hey, we can get some assistance from this side.
But they're going to have to go figure something out, because if you go and look at the 2023 run, the bullpen is what changed.
Mm-hmm.
Ball shoved, Thompson was lights out, and that carried the team. They've got to figure something out, or they need to start hitting the fire sale button and start prepping for like 27, 28. Because it's teetering. It's teetering, and we just don't know which way it's going to go yet.
That's right. I would say one interesting guy who's made an absolute 180 return that could be an option, and I'm sure it's on a lot of people's radars. David Bednar with Pittsburgh, who I think he's got one more year after this of control, but absolutely horrible through most of last year, spring training, start of this year, but he's come back and he's been shoving it. So I'm guessing, they're already lining up, but kind of like, was it your manager? I think what recently said was trying to get enough wins to get them back in a in a buyer's market at the deadline. So, I mean, that is kind of where it's at. It's unfortunate you have all these injuries because, they probably don't want to make a move when y'all are teetering, like you just said. I mean, it's
hard to be buyers.
Right. You need to go win, on a winning streak. Go win 5 of 7 or something. Get yourself a couple of games over 500 and really get some momentum and get the brass behind you trying to push for more. But yeah, it's a tough situation. And kind of going from homer into injuries part 1, we'll call it. Yeah, man, what are y'all doing over there? Y'all's pitching staff is just getting the bug.
It's getting the bug. I mean, we hit Corbin Burns last week, and Martinez comes out, which was like the downfall of last night. He gets the first 2 guys out, then walks a guy, and then 2 pitches in, he calls for the trainer.
UCL sprain.
They ACL. Well, they're saying ACL sprain, but they about an hour ago said he's going to go get a second opinion, which is not good.
Is that y'all's motto for this year? Second opinion?
Second opinion.
Like that's like the 4th time y'all have had that come up.
I know. And then you've got Christian Montes de Osa. He felt tightness before the game yesterday. And then Kendall Graveman goes down again. And then the one that probably ticks me off the most is Christian Mania went down after the hurricane out in Cincinnati. I mean, it was just the Umpires Association should be ashamed that that game was allowed to continue to play in the conditions that it was in, because it was he could not control the ball. Nothing was happening.
Right.
And then immediately after that rain event and finishing that inning, has shoulder and elbow soreness. But I mean, what are you going to do? You got
What are you gonna do,
it's next man up, and it feels like we have a minor league bullpen out there. Name me one. Shelby Miller.
I was thinking he's the only one who's at least been decent recently and is healthy. That meets those two criteria.
And you could argue 2 years ago he was a minor leaguer. So,
Which I mean, look, that is how the reliever position goes. Sometimes it's just 1 year, you're great. 1 year you stink. But yeah, y'all definitely on the stink side of things over there.
Well, we've also got another. I think it's going to be a pretty big injury to the Giants. Matt Chapman goes down.
Oh,
and man, he started off cold. Only a $1.98 batting average in May, 284 in May, and he was a 276 in June. He's already at 12 home runs. He was at 30 RBI. He started lowering his strikeout rate in May and in June, and really he was a solid defender there on the third base side for the Giants as well, and
absolutely.
that veteran leadership. So he just he's going to be a one that it's felt hard. I mean, I know he went under X-rays. They said it came back negative, and they're just listing them day to day. But if he's out for any extended period of time, 15 day or even 30-day IL, that's going to be a loss to the Giants, especially when they're trying to compete against the Padres, the Cardinals, and the other NL strong teams for that wild card position.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his Savant page, and he's still there's some blue, but he's still really good. And I mean, he's just been kind of underperforming a little bit on his WOBA. But I mean, average exit velocity, hard hit percent, bat speed, chase rate, and walk percent are all within the 90th percentile or better. So, and of course, still one of the best defenders out there, good speed. But yeah, that's a tough one because he whether it shows up every day in the stat sheet, like you see him out there, and he is definitely the heart and soul of that team right now, just getting them through. So yeah, I'm hoping that with it just showing up as what is it called, a sprain, I think, or sprained right hand.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's nothing too terrible, and they can kind of get him back and doesn't turn into something that lingers on. What else you got for us? We got injuries, playoffs.
It's June 10th. It's June 10th.
It is indeed.
Let's talk about playoff odds. Okay. Now we're going based off of Fangraphs playoff projections currently. But I want to highlight the NL East. I really want to focus on the NL East. The Mets are currently sitting at 42-24 with a 93.4% chance of making the playoffs, and Fangraphs is giving them a 9.6% chance of winning the World Series. But they have the 7th hardest schedule remaining for MLB teams. So that's all MLB teams. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to try to finish strong. Their pitching has been lights out. Batting has been doing just enough, in my opinion. I think pitching's been carrying them. And that's just the eye test for me. And you have in the same division, you have the Braves, who have been massively underperforming. They're hitting another massive skid. They're sitting at 28 and 37, but still have a 30.1% chance of making the playoffs. They have one of the easiest roads to remain at only a 494 strength of schedule. So there's a chance that we could see some shuffling within not only the NL East, but also the wild cards. My guess is the Braves, if they can stop getting injury prone and their pitching staff as well, they're gonna turn it around, and it's gonna be a division. I think it's gonna be really close. I mean, Mets are projected right now to win 93. I think they probably get to 90. Braves, I think, can easily get to 87, 88, and they're within a couple of games. So,
yeah, I mean, it's still a talented veteran team. It's also another team. I mean, you go and look at it, they're almost, I mean, I guess you could say their bullpen ERA is good, but as far as like their total value, not much better than y'all's. You know, they're hanging around there with Miami and the Athletics and stuff. So, yeah,
yeah.
it was kind of weird. I mean, not weird in that they did lose some big pieces this off season, but kind of weird that so much of it just bottomed out for them over there, especially with Raisel Iglesias. Just, I mean, I don't know what happened to him. He's just a bit unlucky, but giving up a lot of home runs. So yeah, if they can get that bullpen turned around, I think that's been their biggest bugaboo. On top, I mean, I know their offense has been up and down, but
well,
what
you
are you
got to
gonna
remember,
do?
Iglesias gave up like 5 runs in the ninth inning the other day.
Right.
So, I mean, that really, really hurts you. Just ask Brandon Pfaadt.
That's right. It takes a long time to get, especially as a reliever, though. It takes forever to get that many runs off your scorecard.
It's really, really tough. I mean, they had to call up Craig Kimbrell to come in and
man,
pitch.
If I knew how to put the meme of what year is it
exactly
from Jumanji, it would take me about 30 minutes to figure it out. But yeah, what year is it? But no, right. I mean, Kimbrell it looked decent in the minors, but yeah, there's nothing there that you want to be relying on him more than mop-up duty, and yikes.
No.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, man. That's gonna be tough, but it'll be a fun one. I definitely think by the All-Star break we should have a podcast maybe dedicated just to seeing how these playoffs are looking, and we might even get some of the trades coming in by then, and really start to see this stuff shaping up. But
yeah,
what else you got for me outside of playoffs?
Well, look, man, you know me. I like to quiz your baseball knowledge.
I wish you would.
You do a lot of research. You're always in the Savant pages. You're always in the Fangraph pages.
That should be read as nerd. Yes, but I hear you. I am a bit of a nerd.
So, top 5 teams in WAR and overall offensive efficiency. Can you list all 5?
Top offensive WAR or team WAR, like pitching and hitting?
Team. So full team.
Okay. Are there like weird?
I'm sorry, just batting.
Just batting.
Offense. We're talking just offense.
Are there some weird like surprise teams in there?
There's a couple.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one out that I think could be a surprise, just because I feel like they are a decent. Is Tampa Bay on there?
Tampa is not. They're at 10.
10. Oh no.
Now
calibration is all the way off.
Well, now here's the thing. This is their top 5 in both offensive efficiency and WAR.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because that means they have to be good at defense as well to rack up that WAR.
Yeah.
Well, Cubs. Okay, that should have been an easy one. Right?
Are you cheating?
No, I'm cheating. Cubs would be the most obvious one. They have had the best offense.
All right, I give it to you. Cubs number 3.
Number 3. Now from there, things get dicey because I want to go with either one of the New York teams. I mean, I guess I'll say Yankees just because Aaron Judge might lift them out of the. Okay. Are the Mets on there? Are they? I don't know if their offense is okay. I'm not looking. I promise. I have a box score pulled up. I'm just looking at the Rangers, at the Twins.
You missed the overall obvious one.
I know, and that's making me upset because I don't know what it is. Hold on. It's probably not the Phillies. Dodgers?
Dodgers are number 1.
Wow. I got my head on the big name teams, and then I thought that's too obvious.
So you're missing one more.
Okay.
And they're sitting at number 5. They're sitting number 5 in offensive efficiency. They're number 4 in WAR.
Cardinals, because I don't know.
No.
You
It
got me
is it
there.
is another NL West team.
Another NOS team.
And
Can't
it's
be.
not the one you think.
It's not the Giants.
It's not the Giants.
Is the Padres? It can't be the
It
Padres.
is not the Padres.
It's y'all?
It's the Arizona Diamondbacks,
Huh. What?
which just goes to show you how bad the pitching is
Well, yeah.
in relation to how good the offense actually is.
I think we saw this last year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And so so they're top 5 in both offensive efficiency and WAR. They've got a 13.3 team WAR.
Wow, yeah. And I'm looking, y'all are like, yeah, y'all still have like the 5th most runs scored.
Yeah.
You know, like just
I mean, the offense has actually been pretty good.
yeah, just wow. I would, when you throw in things like efficiency, makes you think
even
like,
if you look
surely
at
not.
even if you look just at WAR though, they're number 4. I mean, their overall WRC plus is 115.
And y'all have given up the 4th most runs, it looks like, at least coming into
Yeah.
today. That'll do it to you.
So
Yikes.
I was actually looking for some surprises, and I was like, and I expected it to be like the Phillies or like the Cardinals. I expected those teams to be up there, and I saw them on freaking Diamondbacks. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
This just makes yesterday's game sums up the season.
Right, absolutely.
Like, you score 4, you give up 4 in the 9th, you hit a grand slam to walk it off.
Look, and that's how I feel about the Red Sox. It's like the Red Sox went into New York and took 2 or 3 from the Yankees. I don't know if
looked good.
I didn't enjoy any of it, Yeah, I mean, the offense did look pretty snarky.
Offense looked good.
The pitching was still a little bit off, but I mean, that's also like, that is the Yankees. I mean, bread and butter. And honestly, I thought it was gonna go sideways because Rodon was dealing to start that game, and then just kind of came undone. But yeah, that was impressive. But
did your player of the week, the month, weekend
year,
did it get him? Did you curse him?
No. Do you not see? Do you know who mine is?
No, you picked Carlos Rondon last week, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh man,
Yeah.
see, you're more on it than I am. I'm thinking this week. Yeah, I think
Playing
I did
some reverse psychology there.
little,
I see.
yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that because I will see, like, we'll name something, and then who was it that was leading the league in like RBIs? I think it was like Teoscar Hernandez had all these RBIs or something, and like 37 RBIs in 36 games or something like that. And then he's just been absolutely atrocious. Every now and then I'll think like, did we just feature them or did we just talk about them? Because they've been absolute trash since we've said something. But if that's the case, I'm going to go reverse jinx just for you, even though this already had this plans. But my unfortunate player of the year, the week of the decade of the month of the year, the weekend, the weekend is Zach Gallen. Because, dude, what is wrong with Zach Gallen? Like, he's got a 3.29 ERA over the last week. Nah, like he shouldn't. He's getting incredibly lucky on batting average on balls in play, but I mean, just barely striking out twice as many as he's walking as many as he's giving up home runs per 9. I mean, we talked about this the other day when he pitched. He'll look kind of good, and then he just hangs that curveball or he just hangs that slider, and it just gets
the location. The location's not there, and you can see it. He's walking guys, and then when he is throwing strikes, they're hitting it over the fence. I think if he's not leading the league in home runs, he's top 5.
Pretty dang close.
And the same thing with walks. I mean, he's going to blow his career high in walks before the All-Star break. And so it's been really sad to see. Because it's been, he was so lights out in the season of 2023, and then it's like ever since the playoffs where he just really didn't have it as well as he needed to. He's just never recovered almost.
Yeah, and really, like, I mean, I know it wasn't all bad in 2024, but I mean, since he threw all those innings on that 2023 season, you just wonder, like, not that necessarily like there's a hidden injury, but I mean, I think, I'm looking at it, he threw over 240 in that 2023 year. And I mean, it just hasn't really been the same since then. And but it's unfortunate. Like I said, I'm gonna hit him with the old reverse jinx there. You know, he's gonna get out of there and he's gonna do something. Okay. I'm gonna guarantee that something shall be done. But yeah, that's just it's just a weird situation. And to go back to what you were saying too, is like when you can't command your fastball, people aren't looking for your fastball, right? They're gonna start hunting those off speeds, and he's hanging them. You know,
Yeah.
he's not commanding them right through the zone. So
It's actually interesting. His stat line is similar to 2021. He was striking out more, wasn't walking as many, but he was giving up the same amount of home runs. And his ERA was up there as well.
mhm.
Obviously, it's not near the 5.15, but it's
Win-loss record's almost the same too.
yeah, I know.
Not a good
So
thing. And it's
and he
funny. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say he was in 23 games. So, but if I remember correctly, I don't want to say anything about the win loss because I don't think the offense was atrocious in 21.
Well, and I was going to say it's funny because Brandon Pfaadt has been just as terrible, and he's 7-4. So if you need a reason not to care about win-loss records,
Yeah, but
just
Brandon,
look at
like you
those
said, he
two.
was getting lucky in the first couple of. He was getting lucky in his first probably 4 or 5 starts,
But yeah,
and then just the floodgates opened.
yeah, it caught up
all
to
of his
him.
earned runs have been in the past 3 starts.
Right. Yeah, it was just a bad situation where he's just not walking or striking out enough people on either side to make it. Man, he's just, yeah, we won't spend too much time. We'll be part 2 in our Homer hats. Who do you got over there? You going to be
Man,
positive for us?
I got another pitcher,
Okay.
and we're gonna talk about one of your secondary team, your second love,
That's true.
the
I should have
Kansas
wore the
City
shirt.
Royals. Chris Bubich,
But yeah, dude.
dude has been lights out, a .69 ERA since May 1st, 39 total innings. He's a 9.6 K per 9, which is it's not great, but it's I'd say it's above average. But his walks, 2.29. He's not giving hardly any home runs. He's leaving all of his runners on base that do get on base, and a 1.5 WAR since May 1st.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Just
he
over a
has
month.
just and so I mean, he's got 2 no decisions in those games, but he's 3-1 in those 6 starts, and he's carrying some of that Kansas City.
Yeah, you're talking about a team that's Cole Reagans has been hurt and
Yeah,
bad, but yeah, he's kind of one of those guys. I'm looking at it now, like came in last year, 27 games out of the bullpen, 30 innings was just incredible. And sometimes that's how it clicks. You go to the bullpen, you change things up, you clean up some things or discover whatever it ends up being, and then you can kind of, actually that's kind of what Cole Reagans did as well. Speaking of, but and he's carried it over. I mean, yeah, he's just been incredible out there, and yeah, hopefully he can just stay healthy and keep going because yeah, he's been outstanding for that team right now.
yeah, and like you said, with Reagan's going down, they needed somebody to step up, and
Hmm.
he has really stepped up in a big way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's be honest, Cole Reagans has been incredibly unlucky himself. I mean, he's striking out 14, walking under 3.
Yeah,
He should. I mean, his xERA is 2.6, so he's got greener pastures ahead once he's all ready and healthy. But who do you got for series of the week?
man, series to watch. I'm gonna go with the potential um out of the box World Series matchup. Like,
Okay.
so wild cards meeting up in the World Series. Toronto and Philly.
Okay.
Toronto
Okay.
is starting to try to put the pieces together. They're just kind of hanging around. They're not really going anywhere. They're, they're just trying to stay there close with the Yankees. And then Philly's been playing well. It just I think it's going to be I think it's just going to be a good one to watch. I'm trying to see Sanchez and Francis going Saturday. And then, but you got Gausman and Suarez going Friday, and Kevin Gausman is the best Kevin Gausman of himself.
I would have loved to see Gausman and Nola, a couple of LSU boys, just
Yeah,
battling it
I was
out.
kind of that was
That'd been
one of the
cool.
that was one of the things I looked for. The
Yeah, he's still
rotations
hurt.
just yeah.
And
But
look, out of you got Toronto, you got Philly. One of those teams has a 138 WRC plus, and one of them has a 76 WRC plus right now. Oh, sorry, over the last 2 weeks, Toronto's just been crushing the ball, dude. They've had the best offense
oh
over the
yeah,
last 2 weeks, and it's kind of weird because it kind of coincided with Santander going down, which I'm not saying he's a problem by any means, but yeah, that team's just kind of found their mark, and I think Vladdy still has at least another gear to go before he's actually can be considered on fire. So, yeah, I like that matchup. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Like I said, I could definitely see those two teams making a long playoff run just because they both have depth, in the rotation and in the and in their what am I trying to say, in their offense. I was doing one kind of similar to yours, and just kind of, I mean, the Mets is part of it, but it's Rays at Mets, but just kind of a couple of interesting teams because the Rays offense has been kind of coming around lately and carrying that team, and their pitching is starting to get healthy, and of course they always have some random no-name guy in the bullpen throwing like 115 miles per hour, but I don't know, just Rays at Mets. I think that's going to be a fun little one. Don't really have the matchups just yet, but just two fun offenses just kind of going at it there, and just let's see who can hold on and come out with a series win at the end of it. So looking forward to it.
yeah.
Again, I didn't want to choose Red Sox Yankees. I didn't choose it last time and it worked out. So maybe this is that reverse jinx. But
maybe we'll see.
anywho, we'll see, man. You know what? There is always a chance. But anyway, that is it. Again, this is Out of Market Baseball. I'm Cory. Got Clinton here. Until next time, we will talk to you then.
See ya.
Bye.